Good morning, America. Good morning. I'm a little bit late. Yes, I did sleep in a little bit, but we're here now. Good morning. We have, just the opposite of yesterday. We talked about yesterday's market was so far away from the previous day's value levels on the upside. Now we're on the downside. Difference is we might get a couple of good setups here today, potentially. We can see we are kind of forming a little bit of a reversal down here for the short term, so that could provide something. So looking at that potentially, and other than that, I mean, look at that meltdown from your 930 off that open, touching that previous day's point of control area, and then down she came to the previous week's value high, basically. So this is about where we would want to find support if the higher pricing this week is going to hold up. So it came down to your previous week's value high. This is the old overnight value level, is going to move these up, but you're right on that level and is just hovering around this point now, putting in a decent bunch of volume down here. So we've got, a potential, if this part holds up and we go back to the upside, we'll find some more potential trades in there. So hopefully we can get something today. That'd be good. Yesterday, were all-time highs, so that was more difficult. Today, not all-time highs. So, we might have something a bit more feasible today. So let's go. Good morning, good morning. Let's get into it bright and early. I saw some of you guys in the chat here saying you caught that nice short, that nice meltdown from the open. Well done. How long did you hold? That's an amazing, amazing meltdown for today. Amazing. What's that? Total 205 ticks, 50 points. 50 points. Good trading day. Check in my open. Yes. How many trades do you take on average daily? I'll take 2, maybe 3 max. 2, maybe 3 max. But this is, mind you, that's per account. So I have my personal account, my Apex accounts, and my Take Profit Trader accounts. So total amount of trades, if we're looking at every single account and counting them together, you might be looking at 1 for all the Apex accounts copied, 2 for the Take Profit Trader accounts, copying the sim funded, and then the live account is separate, and then the personal account is by itself as well. So 4 times 2 to 3, you're looking at 8 to 12 trades max across the board. And then I call it quits. And I don't always trade every single account every day. So maybe some days I'll miss my personal or miss my Apex or miss my TBT. Yeah, I don't feel a huge urge to trade them all. Maybe if I've had a loss in one account, then I'll go on to trade the next one. But if I had a really good winning day on one account, sometimes on those days I don't feel the need to trade as much. No worries, Derek. No worries, man. Enjoying life. Nice. How essential is the DOM to your trading strategy? Not essential to the strategy. It's just where I like to enter and exit, but it's not essential to the decision-making itself. David R., good morning, sir. Oh, trading view is frozen. Damn. Thank you, my friend. Let's fix that. Is it working now? Yeah, there we are. Thank you. What's exactly OPOC over? It's overnight. So these actually have to move. That was the previous overnight. Today, so you see that overnight profile from 6 p.m. through to 9:30. That is where I get the overnight levels from. They're most importantly referenced right after the New York Open. So particularly useful for New York traders. But again, we've moved so far away from them now. So there's overnight value levels all clustered around that small range there. They're quite a tight range of value up there for the overnight session. And yeah, that's what we melted off. So yeah, to the downside here, we've got the previous week's value high. And then if we have any sort of retracements, I could potentially see a move. If this stays the value low, Could potentially see a little C-ranked trade off of this value low here. That would be another potential trade idea. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see what happens if it comes down to this point. Could be a good area for a little bounce, little support. What are the negative numbers on the DOM? The negative numbers on the DOM are pulling. So this column here shows if orders have been removed or added to the level on the price. So if you see, a non-negative number, that's just showing how many contracts have been added to this price point. And if you see a number being negative on there, it shows how many have been pulled away. So it can be useful when scalping. I have it on all the time anyway, but it can show you intent when you're scalping. Oh yeah, Rocks and Roll. Yes, check the new page, Rocks and Roll. The new page is the updated, refreshed course. The legacy course was the previous, basically the same as the current volume profile course, but it's been added to a few different modules and it's been refreshed and is a bit more concise. But zero ICT. Speedrunner Combine. It's why our price reacts to the fixed range volume profile levels down to the tech. Yes, been doing a lot of back testing this week. Really promising. Yes, it's very good, Chop Cheese. The levels, they're very, uncanny how accurate they can be. But you obviously want to, most of the time, combine it with high volume nodes and other confluences. But even on their own, they have really decent reactions. Chris and Marion, long time no see. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Landshark Trades as well, just above there. Nice. Good to see you, boys. You sirs, I am at the point of making consistent money, just taking unnecessary losses sometimes with the silver bullet. Yep. Hey, man. Do I use time and sales to read orders going through? Not necessarily, Chris. I like to use the time and sales to judge momentum of a trade when I'm in the trade. That way it sometimes helps me determine if I should keep holding a trade or let it go at my target, for example. It's just something I have there as a little bit of a momentum indicator more than anything. Brett, look at gold. Brett, I'm locked in on the ES right now, but hey, man, we'll get gold on the London sessions. David R made 700 today off an eval game. Yes, nice. Congrats. Ryu, nice to see you as well. Afternoon from Ohio, Chauncey. Nice to see you. More DNF trades today. Hey, Chauncey, you're short at the all-time highs yesterday. Ended up not doing too bad. There it was, right around, what time was that? Just before 4 p.m. Came right off. Nice flat top up there. And a nice meltdown. Not too bad. No worries, Rocks and Roll. What's your best trading session, London, NY, or Asia? Enrico, overall for me, it's Asia. It's the session I trade the most. Asian Open, or about an hour after the Asian Open. And that's my best session overall in terms of dollars made, but only because it's the main one that I trade. Right now, the New York afternoon session, it is 6:45 a.m. my time. And if I'm not streaming, I'm not normally up at this time, so... Otherwise, the Asian session is about 11:30 for me, 11:30 a.m., which is more workable for a late riser like myself. Yeah, Jamie, just woke up, man. Roll out of bed, turn on the computer, and start streaming. Why is my previous week's value high showing 6705 compared to yours? I have it set from Sunday at open to Friday at close. Is it on the 1 minute, Matt? In all honesty, it could be that mine's a little bit off as well. Let's have a look. There's the weekly profile. This one here. Got that, 459, 459. Let's just drag that. It is 1 minute off. 1 minute off on that one. Hold on. 6 p.m. Boom. And then back to the beginning. Yeah. 601. Yeah, there you go. 6 o'clock to 5 p.m. Same. It's a little bit, what's that, a tick off? There we are. 6701, that's what I got here. Just make sure you're on the 1 minute chart. If you switch around on the charts, on the time frames, it can screw with the level on the profile, not the levels you draw out. So right now that I've drawn the levels out, if I jump to the 5 minute, the level's still the same, but the profile now, if you look at the volume profile, the weekly volume profile, for once it's actually the same. That's good. Yeah, sometimes it can switch around and just slightly by a few points, but yeah. Right, course giveaway. Yeah, we'll do a course giveaway this week as well. Good question, Omar. How would you trade the drop at the morning bell? So this is a hypothetical example, right? At the morning bell, I would not have expected as big of a drop-off as this. But the way we trade the New York Open is wait for half an hour at least on the open, so 10 a.m. gives you that opening range and lets that first half an hour of volume develop. And then you see we're trading across a bunch of value levels here. There's overnight levels and then the previous day's point of control. So what you're looking for is for some confluences to align here instead of just trading the value levels. So pull that across. You wouldn't want to trade this move here. Is across the whole volume profile. So you want to be trading the extremes, right? So that potential setup for the short, which is what I'm guessing the other students of the course took here, will be the value area high plus previous day POC short. Should be like entering at this point. Off that value high, 5-point stop, 5-point take profit, which is nice, right below that overnight value low, and then obviously leaving a runner. But yeah, that's how you'd catch one short. Who would have known this would have run 50 points down? Not me, but there's your 5-point setup. And then when it comes below and breaks below the overnight value low, then you get your retest. See how the profile looked here. Retesting the value low of the current profile and the value low of the overnight. And does it again, retest. It's just like support resistance, but with volume backed levels. So broken support becomes resistance. That support broke, and there's your resistance off that level. Overnight value low and developing value low. And that's a potential second entry or just an area to keep holding your trade. If you're holding a runner, trail that stop just behind those levels there. Potentially catching that whole move. Potentially. Again, I'm in and out. I'm normally in and out within 5 points. In all reality, I do leave a runner sometimes when I'm trading the extremes of the profile. A lot of the time I will leave one runner contract, but realistically, getting out within 3 to 5 points. I take scalps like that, base hits. All right. Let's see if this thing can tap into their weekly value high. It's just hovered above it at the moment. Almost tested it right here on this low at 141. Slowly trickling around this range. This part of the profile here, when you see massive nodes like this that are fairly equally distributed, that can be traded like its own sort of range. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a D-shaped profile. It's another volume profile term, but a D-shaped profile is just a volume profile that's shaped almost like a perfect bell curve like this. And a D-shaped profile is basically an indication that we are in a trading range. And the way you trade that is you fade the extremes of the range. fade the upper portion of that volume cluster, and fade the lower portion of that volume cluster. It's just a way to trade a range using volume profile. So that's what we kind of see here. You got your D-shaped profile. So my trade idea for this is if we can dip down towards value area high of the previous week, that'll be a potential support play. And if we come up to the value area low portion here, be a nice potential resistance play. So I will take one of those trades. The value low has shifted a bit more here, giving a better chance of getting a potential resistance play off that point. The bottom portion here, the previous week's value high, that's what I would rank as almost a B rank, but there's technically only one confluence, which is the previous week's value high. But the second added confluence I would go to put on this one is that D-shaped profile. So let's see if we can get something across either portion of this range. Lambo Real trades volume, but he takes 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Nice. Lola A7, what's up? Nice to see you. What would you take 5 points on a 50K account? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I know you're explaining your levels, but I just got there. What do you mean by overnight levels? I know you would mark previous day VAH, VAL, POC along with weekly lows. Yes, Joseph, overnight levels are your 6 p.m. through to 9:30 a.m. So it's that Globex session, 6 p.m. open through to 9:30. You draw a profile across that point in time, and those are the most important levels to reference as soon as we go into that New York Open, because that's normally the most nearby levels for the New York Open. And you use those until the close of the next overnight session. Okay, we're dipping down a bit here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. $6,701 is the weekly level. Look at the liquidity also on the DOM here. Just around that weekly value area high. We got 249 contracts sitting there. How would you advise to consistently make profits every day and pass an evaluation, like the video you made about making a living off a 50K sim funded? Yes. How would I advise? Oh, to pass an eval, yeah. God's Battle. Obviously, if you don't want to burn and flip evals like I do, like I said, for evals, I'm just flipping that thing full port until I pass. Try and pass as quick as possible. But if you're wanting to be sensible with an eval and trade it, without burning through cash, I like to divide the drawdown into 10. So you take your 50K account, say you have $2,000 drawdown, split that into 10, so $200 a day, and risk that per day. It will take, 2 to 3 weeks to pass the account. But if you follow that strict risk management and lock out after losing $200 in a day, then you have to lose 10 days in a row to blow the account. So it gives you really good breathing room. And psychologically, it's nice to know you'd have to blow it 10 days in a row to blow the account. So it's like a sweet number to me for evals is splitting it into 10, not risking any more than 1/10 of your drawdown per day. And it's pretty hard to lose 10 days in a row. If you're following a strategy, it's pretty hard to lose and blow it 10 days in a row. So that way you can almost guarantee you're not going to blow that eval, and you just trade it. Hit your base hits every day and give it 2 to 3 weeks and you'll be crossing that line. As long as you're following your risk management plan and sizing your trades correctly, as in not overblowing it. I found that to be the best approach when being sensible with evals. But if you like Cami Capital, I'll get an eval and I'll push for that full, either over the Apex, a full 1 day pass, or 50% profit target to pass in 2 days. Obviously, evals do get burnt that way, but then I can, be in a funded account within a few days, ideally. Do I use Bookmap or just read the DOM? I use Bookmap. I got Bookmap open here and also the DOM. They're just more for reference. They're not a key part of the strategy. They're just for reference. I just like to watch liquidity, how liquidity behaves. It actually doesn't influence my trading decision-making much at all, but I do like to see, like for example, on the DOM and on Bookmap, you can see the big level here, 6702. Got another one just a bit down at 6700 as well, which is typical at a round number, at 100 number, I should say. So I'm waiting to see us pull down towards that 6702 because that's our previous week's value high level, just a point above that at 6701. So we're pulling down there now. That is a potential area I'm looking to trade. So I want to see that 6702 get filled, and then I'll try to catch a quick scalp from here. Coming close now, and watch to see how these orders behave. See if they stay there and if they get filled. Any thoughts on trading Dow Jones and Russell along with ES? Yes, cheers from Egypt. What's up, man? Ahmed. Yeah, Dow Jones and the Russell are... Dow Jones is slow for me. But hey, man, there's a lot of setups on the Dow. I did used to trade the US 30 when I did Forex, which is the CFD version of the Dow, the Dirty 30. And, man, it's not too bad. All the volume profile theory and the strategy, it all applies to those markets as well. And as for the Russell, I've not traded the Russell much before, but it's all the same, man. All the indices, all the same theory applies. It just depends on how you prefer the movement of that product. Like some people might prefer the kind of slower nature of the Dow, just like I at the moment prefer the ES over the NQ because it's slower. Which Apex plan do I recommend? The 50Ks are the best value for money, honestly. The drawdown to profit ratio is not too bad on the 50K, and the price is good. The higher accounts, drawdown to profit is not too favorable, and the lower accounts are too tight. Here we go. 6702 is filled. Nice.
Order filled.
A quick scalp in here if I can. Okay, I'm at 6702.50. And I'm just targeting a 1-to-1 here. Stop at 687.50. So 697.50. And my take profit is 6707.50. I'll take 5 off there. 6707.50. Yeah, looking at 5 points. We filled those orders at 6702, just above the weekly value high. Once you reach about 6706, I'll pull the stop in to break even. And I'll ideally, hopefully leave one runner on this if we get filled and see if it can push any further. But stop will be at break even if we hit that. 6706, we've just tapped, moving my stop in to break even. And trying to get the rest out of this trade here. Let's go. 5 contracts, let's get it filled.
Order
5 of them filled. And 1 runner left on the table. See if we can squeeze some more out of this. Nice trade. Nice trade, nice trade. Let's put on here on the chart. Alt-H. Annotate there. Partials taken. one runner left. Boom. All right, and just see if we can, if this is like the start of a reversal, these can turn into monster trades. But the main thing is secured the majority of the profit off that trade and leave the rest to run, sirs. I will trail that stop loss up. Like, I'm not going to leave it at break even. I'll trail it up. If we can break above this volume node, back above, I'll just trail that stop into a bit of profit as we go. But we'll see how long it goes. Come on, likes in the chat for that quick win. That's what we're talking about. Nice B rank trade there. Technically C, but add a little B with the context. That's 6 contracts. 6 contracts, 5 taken off, 1 left to run. That is a running P&L of 1,500 on my funded take profit trader account so far. So let's see if I can get some more out of this. Let me put that on here. 5 contracts. Partials taken, 1 runner left. And yeah, just letting that final contract, you can see on the DOM here, there's my stop loss. Final contract left to run here. Put it 1 tick in profit just in case it comes all the way back. Otherwise, you know, might be able to squeeze a few extra $100 out of this, or even thousands if it fully reverses, but let's see. Good trade, good trade. For previous week's value high, is that from last Friday's volume profile? Yes, from last Sunday to Friday. Which prop will you suggest for non-US traders, say in Canada or Oz? Jazu, I'm in New Zealand as well, so I'm using Take Profit Trader. I think that's, you know what, guys, Take Profit Trader is my #1 recommendation for props. I don't recommend Apex for most traders until you are more consistent and can deal with the stricter rules. The rules aren't necessarily bad. It just requires you to be very consistent and almost robotic. So you just got to be careful with that. Once you understand the Apex consistency rules and whatnot, it's good. The opportunity with Apex is good. But you got to be aware of the consistency rules and be consistent with your sizing even. You can't be sizing your trades different. So for example, with my Apex accounts, I'm using 3 contracts on 3 points almost every day. And that doesn't change really. Yes, can I say why I entered early? Yes, Morgan K. So what we saw, see that on the DOM, we saw that there was 200 contracts sitting at 6702. So when you see a lot of buy orders in the book there, 6702, they also got filled, right? So they didn't pull from the book. They all got filled in a buy order at 6702. So I wasn't expecting price to whip all the way down into previous week's value high. The other reason is that we're at the very edge of this D-shaped distribution on the volume profile. So you just use those value levels as context. Say, okay, start to look for a support play down here. Doesn't necessarily mean you enter right off that level. It's just you want to look for some sort of support down at that area. And we found that with a combination of what was seen on the DOM and what was seen on the profile here with this very edge of distribution. How many am I risking? 550Ks, 1,500 for 150Ks? Yes, correct. 500 per day for 50K evals and fundeds. Sorry, fundeds. And 1,200 a day on the 150Ks. $1,200. Would I take the same trade again, Jonathan? No, I would not take the same trade again because now the orders are gone. So next you can see that the next kind of level of massive orders on the bid here down here at 6,700. So it may draw towards that price. So that's the extra added context there. So what we might see the second time around is it might come down, whip through value high, tap 6,700, fill those orders, 227 contracts there, and then come back. So that will be the better play on the next touch. Yes, giveaway today, absolutely. Get the stream, get the likes up to 150, and we got giveaways going. Giveaways galore. We'll also give away a free access to the course this week to one lucky member. But yes, likes must be 150 plus before we consider giveaways. Luna, what's up, man? Luna. For previous week's value high, is that from last Friday's volume profile? Yes. It's from last Sunday open to Friday close. So 6 p.m. Sunday, you draw a profile from there all the way to Friday 5 p.m. Yes, Luna Trades in the chat. What's up, Luna Trades? What's up? Thanks, man. I appreciate that. How do you see those orders on the DOM? What's your DOM settings? David, you have to have level 2 data added on for Tradeovate. It's a little add-on you purchase. I don't know if some props provide it for free. I'm not sure if Take Profit Trader, etc. does, because I have it as an add-on anyway. I don't think Apex provides it, but yeah, a lot of props will provide it for free. Otherwise, it's like $5 a month or so to add on. The setup of this trade, yes. The setup of this trade. So number one, we had so there's the entry. This was the initial stop loss, 5 points. Number one, we had the previous week's value high just below price here. So that was the basically hints to start to look for potential support plays because we're above this value level. So as price approaches it, you want to look for potential support initially, right? Kind of had that a couple times, didn't tap it, but it's not the idea. You're not looking for an exact tap of the level. They're not magical levels, right? But they are value areas to look at. So seeing that we're at the value highs of the previous week and we're above it, that is a potential support zone. So what we're looking at is buys at the lows of this range here or closer to previous week's value high. That's the first idea. Second thing is if you look at the volume profile here, this is what we call an even distribution or a D-shaped distribution. And a D-shaped distribution on the volume profile basically indicates a trading range. And the way you play trading ranges is you fade the extremes. An even distribution like this shows that price is pretty happy to stay in this pocket. So if you want to look for trades, you never want to trade in the middle of that distribution. You want to trade on the extremes. So that was like the second confluence alongside that previous week's value high. We're at the low of the D-shaped profile and at the just a few ticks above the previous week's value high. And then a third extra confluence, which is one that doesn't normally come too much into play, but today, because there was so much orders there, it did. There was 200 plus orders on the bid, just resting at 702, which is about where I got my entry, a tick above. 200 plus orders resting there, buy orders, and they got filled. You saw on the DOM and on the time and sales, those orders got filled. So real orders, 200 plus buyers bought at that level. Passive orders bought. So you can expect a bit of a bounce there. You're not looking for a full turnaround, but you are expecting some sort of reaction. So all those things in conjunction, profile shape, value level, plus the orders on the book, equals pretty good chance, very high chance of a bounce. And I targeted my arbitrary 5 points, but it wasn't completely arbitrary because I'm also just trading back towards the midpoint of this D-shaped range, right? So if you look at that profile here, that midpoint, is just right across here. So it's not far off where I took my profits. You want to be targeting back towards the middle of the range when trading a D-shape. Give him the D, yes, Nikki. Give him the D. Would you have taken the trade blind sell at 714? 714. Blind sell. You know what, Jamie? I'm not totally opposed to that because that is just fading the extreme of the D-shaped profile. I can't say, obviously hindsight, but that's a C-rank trade. So, if taking that 25% risk, no problem. No problem. 6701 is a bounce area, Moise. Yes, around that area, around 6700 is our bounce area here. But this particular one that I took was the better, more likely one for me because of the increased amount of bids at that level. The next time we have that is down at 6701 now. They got 6701 stacking up and 6700, so closer to that previous week's value high. Not thinking end of day might just dump. We look pretty heavy in the indices. The thing with the end of day Oz is when you have these single direction days, end of day, unless that trend is really strong, end of day, you're going to get those big boys or even retail, big retail, rolling up their positions and closing their shorts or closing their longs. In this case, closing the shorts. You know, when they close the shorts, they have to buy back. So you can sometimes get an unexpected pump, not all the way back, but an unexpected pump opposite to the trend at the end of the day. That's what I've seen typically in these New York sessions. Kind of like yesterday, it wasn't so extreme, but off 4 p.m. here, right at the end of the day, you get that same kind of thing, you know. Those all-time highs were hit, and then at the end of the day, positions closed, we melt down a decent 12 points. So yeah, we'll see today. It is currently 3:12 p.m. So we got some time here. But yeah, I'll hold this runner until it stops at break even or continues up. Either is good with me. We've banked. What's my realized P&L on that trade? Open P&L is 1,300, but just over 1,200 so far on that trade. So happy days. But yes, I would love to squeeze some more out of this if it happens to get its reversal soon. I would love to capture some of that. How do I handle 30% negative rule on Apex on open positions? Tevin, I trade very small positions with Apex, so I'm looking at 3 to 5 points max with Apex. I don't hold any runners on Apex. I close the position out completely. 3 points in the Asian or the London session and 5 points if trading the New York session. And I also trail my stops up. I mean, the same way you saw me trade today on the take profit trade account here. Once that trade hits 75% of the way to my target, I pull that stop to break even. So I'm not allowing too much drawdown to cut into my active trades. That's what I've found the best ways to beat that intraday trailing is always trail the stops, take smaller base hit trades, and move to break even often. But yeah, once you beat that trailing threshold, it's back to normal, you know, easy trades. I'm keeping Apex. Some of the accounts in Apex are over that trailing drawdown threshold, so I can trade them normally, but I still trade them the same way, just until I've got all 20 accounts at the same level. I've only got 12 at the moment. I need another 8. Jorge, live in Miami, but I was trading the open. Honestly, the schedule works way better for me. Nice. Nice. Miami, eh? I love it. Voltron, Louis Silva, what's up? What's more important for my trades, LVNs or VAH, VALs? Jamie, I don't use LVNs actually, but I use the high volume nodes. What's more important for my trade? I'm going to say the high volume node because that shows me where most recent interest is. So the value levels are very important, but without confirmation from the high volume nodes, they don't mean too much to me because then it means a less accurate trade without the high volume node, or at least without some sort of context. The developing profile is the most important for me. So anything on the developing profile. Yes, in tune with Mike, 12, not 20, 12. I'm slowly slogging away at getting in the full 20. Giveaway time. Are we at 150? Oh, we're at 175. Yes. No, MS, they don't deny payouts for tick scalping. That's for people who are taking like 1 tick trades because that takes advantage of the sim environment. I'm taking 12 ticks plus. That's totally acceptable for Apex. Most props will deny or at least end up getting suspended if you're taking those 1-tick trades, 1-2-tick trades. Those are because they take advantage of easy sim fills. It's obviously not acceptable with props. So that's what they mean when it comes to tick scalping. But 12 ticks is what I'm taking. Even 5 ticks it's reasonable, you know. Naples, Florida, what's up? Yes, Leo Cami is live, yes. A lot of the adult film industry is based in Miami. Yes, F. Stewart, shall I move there? No, I've always been drawn to Miami. I don't know why, ever since I watched Scarface when I was a little boy. What a buck, man. I would love to visit Miami one day. A lot of you boys and girls are in Miami, so got to give Cami Capital the tour when I come around eventually. I've not been to the States yet. All right, this thing is pushing a bit. It would be great if this runner turns into something. I would absolutely love that. If this can break above this D-shaped profile, it'll be a monster runner. If not, it may come back. So what I'm going to do here is if we can push past kind of this middle area of the D-shaped profile, D-shaped volume node, I'll trail that stop up some more. We'll see if we can push past that. Decent bit of strength here, but come on, follow us through. Like I said, sometimes end of day after these big single-sided moves, you can see these positions get closed up for a bit of a retracement. Yes, still in the trade I took earlier. 5 contracts taking profit. You can see my trade, active trade on the right here. It's currently running up a few $100 profit. But closed $1,200 profit and leaving 1 contract to run just for a little bit more if we can. Oh, nice, Jamie. Joe Dispenza. Nice. I'm a huge fan of Joe Dispenza. Jamie, awesome. Okay. Kiwi to Kiwi. I will take your advice. Definitely, it's on the list. Miami, Texas, and of course Las Vegas. I did want to go to California, but here it's not the California it used to be. But any Californians in here can confirm that. Am I Islander? Kind of. Kind of. I'm a big mix. I'm Scandinavian, Indian, Fijian. Fijian Indian, I should say. So I switched to TPT. Think it's better than Top Step. I agree. Do not go to California. Okay. When did you make your last million, and what did you learn by that process? Oh, when did I make my first million? I made the first million end of last year, and then another 2 a few months after that. It all happened in quick succession. It was very quick. What did I learn from the process? I learned that they always say, this is real cliche, but that first mill is the hardest, takes the longest, and the following millions come a lot easier. Yeah, I don't know. The other thing I learned from that is that a million is not as much as you think it is. Once you get there, you're like, oh shit, I'm still kind of broke. Which is kind of sad to think about, eh? Not that I'm broke, but you know what I mean. You just learn, okay, I hit this 7-figure number. It's awesome, but wow, this is actually not what you think in terms of what you can do with it. And if you're still young, like me, it's not going to set me up for life. It'll set me up for a long time, but it doesn't set you up for life. Okay, kind of rejecting off the midpoint of that D-shaped profile. Didn't quite make it above. Let's see if it can hold up or if it comes back and stops out this runner here. 190 likes. It's almost giveaway time. We'll get a giveaway soon. As soon as this trade closes, we'll get giveaways going. We'll give away some Apex or TPT accounts. Your choice. Your choice. You choose. I want to put a little poll in the chat right now. Little poll. Let's go. Let's go. Do you prefer Apex or TPT? And let's go Apex, TPT. Let's see what the general consensus is. I assume it's TPT because people have a bad taste in their mouth about Apex. It's not as bad as people make it seem, but it's certainly the harder of the props to trade. Bigger payoff in the end if you can make it work, but it is the harder one. And you kind of make it seem you've lost the income stream that made you the 3 million. No, not necessarily. It did get dropped, like, because I was easily after Patrick Whalen left. You'd be surprised. I was the top earner for Top Step in terms of affiliates. They cut their affiliate program, so it cut off a decent portion of income. But I've got other income. I wasn't stressing too much. Got other sources of income and other affiliate deals. I got trading. I got my business, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, that Top Step affiliate income gets pretty crazy. But yeah, not a huge deal. TPT, massive winner on that one, isn't it? 78% so far. Not surprised, honestly. I've said this before. TPT is like what Top Step used to be. It feels like OG Top Step. But then you've got your daily payouts. So that's a leg up. Of course, the trade-off being intraday drawdown on the initial funded account. But yeah, you beat the threshold, then it goes away. So it's just a matter of scalping until you hit that threshold. And then, yeah, easy after that. Easy days. Yeah. People hate Apex that much, Pi. I know. I don't believe all the negative hype. I didn't believe all the negative hype about Apex. Tried it myself. They're honestly fine. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of negative chatter about it. They are, like I said, they are more difficult, but once you understand the rules, they're not that bad. But TPT, I still think TPT is the better choice for most people. Apex is good for scaling up once you get good with the consistency. Yes, Jorge, these lives all stay on the channel. Yes, lives can be rewatched at any time. The old lives have been privated because I was trading. I had a lot of questions like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because previously the live streams were taking any trade I could for entertainment and, well, according to my strategy, but, wasn't taking the most selective trade setups. And I got a lot of questions like, oh, but you said this, that you only trade when this happens, but you did this on this particular stream at 2:55 a.m. I was just like, come on, man. Those were streams, right? So now the new streams here, I'm only taking trades on my funded accounts that I personally would take anyway, like good trade setups. Like the one from today was a really good trade setup. Not trying to take every single setup that comes along for the stream's entertainment, but trading selectively, taking good setups, trying to get paid, all of that. All right, 75% say TPT, 25% say Apex. Not surprised. Oh, yeah, shit, the volume profile is not extended. Thank you for the shout. Don't know when that changed. There we are. Oh, yeah, we've developed a bit more there, obviously. Still fairly even. Burak, I heard they pay influencers to advertise for Apex. Yeah, all props pay influencers to advertise, but they don't give upfront some, lump sum payments. Sometimes if you're a huge influencer like Patrick, you might get an upfront payment. But for a small, medium-sized ones, there's no upfront. You just get paid on the referrals, just like usual. But yeah, it's not like they pay me and say good things about Apex only or we won't pay you. It's, yeah. Top Step was like that, yes. But not Apex or TPT. Jamie, the Top Step affiliate mark. I put a video out on this a little while ago. But yeah, it got pretty crazy. It was in the high six figures per month. That's what I mean. Like, it was insane. I couldn't believe it. I have Apex and Top Step. I'd be open to try Take Profit Trader. Nice. Yeah, Tabitha, if you use Apex, Take Profit Trader will be easy for you. Take Profit Trader has easier rules. The only thing about Take Profit Trader is they're slightly more premium priced. But again, they're the only firm that offers, well, not the only firm. I think there's a few now, but they're one of the few firms that offer the daily payouts. Their payout rules are pretty easy, I got to say. Once this trade closes, either it stop out at break even or if it gets a runner, we will do the giveaway. Giveaway Apex and TPT accounts later this week. We'll give away one free course entry as well. Why not? Bullinox heard good things. Yes, same. Well, thank you, Tabitha. Good luck. Good luck. That daily payout is basically having personal account. Yes. The Take Profit Trader account, once you get through to funded, it is, once you beat that trailing drawdown, which is only matching what your max drawdown is. Once you beat that, it's like having your own money account. It's really good. You make 1,000 today, you withdraw 1,000 today. You make 200 today, you withdraw 200, whatever you like. I think there's a minimum payout. I think it's $100. I'm not entirely sure. But you can withdraw every single day in the funded Take Profit Trader account. Once you've passed the threshold, every day, take a payout. Yes, Jamie, I do. I don't bother keeping. I've said this before about prop firm accounts. I never like to treat them, apart from my Apex accounts at the moment, because I've got a specific goal in mind, a clout goal in mind. But for the regular prop firms, I never treat them like a savings account. So with the Take Profit Trader accounts, I'm always taking out anything above the threshold, especially with the 150K, because $4,500 is enough drawdown to work with to make decent trades. So yeah, if I'm above the threshold, I take money out. Yeah, never using it as a savings. Did I make a video on TPT set? I assume you mean rules? Yes. I have a couple of videos on TPT rules. TPT is 80%. Yes, 80%, 20% split. Once you get to the live funded stage, which is after you make 10K in an account and you get moved to live, it's 90-10. TPT does not offer straight to funded, just evals to funded. Oh, actually, I know, dude. Same. I mean, I'm 39% here in New Zealand, but yeah, I feel you. Nice, Joe. Is it Jove E? Hove E? Nice, man. Hope you find it helpful. Daily profit target on TPT. What's the rule? Hard and fast. Jamie, I go for the 150K accounts. I target bare minimum 1,000 a day. And I do that on all my 150K funded accounts. $1,000 profit target. And all that means is, if I've won a trade and I'm up $1,000, I don't force any more trades unless I've hit a huge trade. If I've hit like a huge three, like last week I hit my first day in the TPT account, I hit $7,000 on the first day trading the funded account. Hit a 7K day, so I risked another 2K the following day to make $5,000. So I risk some of the profit. If I've got made excess profit, I'll risk some more to make some more. But if I've made just around $1,000, that's it. I'll stop for the day and I'll withdraw that. But last week I was on such a hot run that I went a bit harder than usual. Triple down. Does TPT allow you? Yes, TPT does allow you to reset your funded accounts, correct. You can reset your funded account and take profit trade. It's expensive, but you can do it. Yes, look at my channel. I put a video up. My most recent video, not live stream, but video, was making 10K in 3 days, or withdrawing 10K in 3 days from Take Profit Trader. I showed the daily P&L on that. It was 7K, 5K, and then was it 2,000, 1,200, something like that. Really good week last week. All right, just coming back above this node here is teased the trailing stop there a couple times. It's 3:30, so hopefully we get some sort of retracement here to squeeze this contract out as a runner. Would be real nice. Real nice. If this does happen to push all the way to value low of the current session, 6713, I'll pull that stop up to about where I took profit on the first 5 contracts. So then that will give the total of 1,500 if it stops out, or if it happens to run on a massive sudden reversal or pullback, then it will be a decent trade, a really decent trade. Good question on today's episode. You make a lot of income. Was it more so skill that helped or the control of emotions? Definitely both. It's the skill and trade selection, number one, but control of emotions to know when to stop and to know how much I wanted to risk to make more. Because although I made $7,000 that first day, I only risked $1,200 to make that $7,000. I scaled into a trade. So it was, the emotional control of not taking profit too early, but then also knowing when to jump out. So it's a whole lot, right? It's skill and emotion, skill on trade selection, and then emotional control on scaling in, scaling out, and pulling the plug on the trade, knowing when to stop. Do I know someone who goes by Voltron? Of course. Louis Silva in the chat. No, James. So, Alvian, common misconception with the low volume nodes. So, a low volume node is an area where price will move through, has more reason to move through it quickly. So, a high volume node, price is more likely to stop and slow down, bounce, or reverse. A low volume node is an area where there's not much interest. So, if price is moving and it comes through these areas that have low volume or little interaction from both sides, it typically is an area that's going to get moved through real quick. So when people mention low volume nodes as support and resistance, what they're actually referring to is the edges of the high volume nodes. So yeah, that's a question I get often, but that theory behind why people use low volume nodes instead of high volume nodes for support and resistance is slightly faulty, just because low volume by its nature, it's going to have price will move through those a lot easier than it will a high volume node. So you want to trade the edges. The whole idea of the high volume node is to trade the edges. Edges of high volume is where your money is made. Do I meditate at all? No, I don't meditate per se. But I do like to do things where I get into like a flow state, totally focused flow state. For example, at the moment, that would be bonsai trees. Mr. Miyagi over here. Which pair is this? This is not a pair. This is the S&P 500 futures. Let's see if this can break. Still holding this runner here, which means you guys are still waiting for the giveaway. As soon as this trade closes, the giveaway will happen. But just let's see how long that'll take. Gamble for the stream. No, an edge of a high volume node is not called a low volume node. The edge of the high volume node is the edge of the high volume node. The low volume node are these little pockets in the profile where there's no volume, right? These are not the edges of the high volume node. They can be close to the edge, but it's not the edge. What did I do? There we are. Yeah, just think about what a low volume node is, what it means, and then that immediately tells you using them as support and resistance is not the best idea. A low volume node always gets traded through, or actually more likely gets traded through easily, whereas a high volume node does not. And if you have support and resistance, do you want your support level or resistance level to be traded through easily? No, you want it to stop, bounce, reverse. And high volume nodes do that. Low volume nodes are traded through easily, typically. Giveaways are a myth. The trade will never close. We'll never get a giveaway. You honestly might be right, my friend. It's holding pretty steady here. As soon as it hits 10 to 4, I bet this thing will start to move. MOC. So don't worry. Even if we have to do it right on market close, we will get the giveaway going. Absolutely. Why a 1 minute versus 2 minute or 5 minute chart? POP, I actually don't care about the time frame of the chart. It's just what I like to look at. So I trade purely based off price at volume. So I could trade any chart, but I just like to look at the 1 minute chart. The time frame doesn't come into play for me. Because I'm not trading any chart patterns or anything, just trading where is price now relative to value levels. So it could be on anything. The 1 minute chart's more interesting to watch. Nice, over 20 trees, Joseph. Nice, man. I recently spent a lot of time in Japan, and I went to this bonsai museum in Tokyo where you get like a lesson in what would you call it? The art of bonsai making, bonsai forming. And yeah, man, it sold me. New hobby. I don't have 20 trees yet, but definitely plans to get that way. It's an awesome hobby. Really nice. Very meditative, peaceful. But man, that's awesome. 20 trees. I'll be there with you one day. A collection of 20 trees. Not yet, Dragon. Giveaway still coming. Waiting for this trade to close before we hit the giveaway. Hopefully soon. It's pulling back up towards VAL. Let's see. Once this moves to VAL, I'll move the stop up to 5707. And that'll be the trailing stop. Just want to see if we can break up above this cluster of volume down here. Jamie, I smoke trees. Smoke trees, make trees. Yes, no worries, Gino. I'll get right back to you, my friend, after the stream. No problem. What was the beef with California? No beef, man. I would love to visit California. It's just I hear it's changed a lot since the people say don't visit anymore. But I need Californians to tell me yes or no on that. All right, we're pushing up towards value low. About to move the stop up to 707. Let's see if it can push out this value low. want to see this hop above 712. I'll move it up to plus 100, up to 704. There's my stop now at plus 100. And yeah, we'll just see if this thing can push it out. If it pushes out 712, gets above that level, which is the value low of the current session, I'll pull that running stop up to 707. And then if we get a bit of a run before MOC, I'll trail that behind it. Charlie Scott slowly converting a small ICT Discord to the volume profile I keep sending your videos. You are doing the Lord's work, my friend. The Redwoods. Do you think we break through VAL or bounce off it? How do you decide? Honestly, Sam, this is looking like a bounce off, right? That's the theory behind it. Normally is yes, because we are bearish, we're at the lows here. It's at the upper end of this volume cluster. It's probably going to bounce off, but the only wild card, here is MOC. MOC, we could get a roll up of these short positions, causing a bit of a quick spike to the upside. So hence the runner why I'm pulling that runner up and not closing it value low. I've already taken 1,200 off this trade, so I'm okay to risk a little bit more to see if MOC gives that sudden snap back to the upside, in which case we'll be able to pocket, another 500 to 1,000 on the trade with no risk. So let's see if we can get that. It is 7 minutes till MOC. SoCal here. Kelly's cool. Been here all my life. Nice. Yeah, man. I've actually wanted to live in California for so long, but the income tax is insane, dude. Insane. Yeah, California is just a beautiful looking place. Like I said, a lot of people say it's changed and it's not worth living there anymore, but then a lot of locals say it's still fine, I guess it depends where you are, like any area. But I always like the look of, Orange County and those kind of places. All right, value area low is hit here. If we can jump above 712, we're moving that stop up to 707. Just waiting on that. We're right on the value low. Real close to MOC. Come on. Give the giveaway. Yes, when we do the giveaway, anyone can enter. We'll do it after this trade close. We'll do it either at 4 p.m. I'll close this trade at 4 p.m. or when it hits trailing stop. We'll do the giveaway. Opinions on the UK. Have I been? I've not been to the UK, Charlie, but I definitely want to visit. Well, more specifically, the wife wants to visit. So no doubt we'll be going at some point. All right. VAL is pushed. We're at 712. I'm going to pull this up to 707. Trailing stops now at 707. And we're going to see if this can push out the value low and keep going, rolling up for MOC. No Tendo, the course is in English only. Unfortunately, I don't speak Espanol. Don't TPT need to be flat at 4? I don't know about evals. This is a funded account, Mike. But the funded accounts, you can close at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern time. MOC is market on close. That's the big traders, big boys, big institutions, big retail, and algorithms closing out their positions last 10 minutes of the market. So the markets go a little wild end of day, final 10 minutes. So we're right here in the value low of the current session. So if we do get a roll up, this will be the area where it will happen. Let's see. Roll up, I mean the traders that have been short all session, closing the shorts for the end of the day. And to close a short, you must buy back your position, causing price to jump. So that's what I'm hoping to see here for this runner contract. If not, we stop out at 225, which means a total of 1,400 on this take profit trader funded account for today. Jay Val, no, we just had a conversation about this. I know you're late here, but that's fine. In short, to recap, no, low volume nodes are areas where price is more likely to move through quickly. So when you think about a level you want to act as potential support and resistance, a high volume node better fits that bill. A low volume node, because it's low volume, can easily be moved through, traded through, and typically would trade through with speed. A high volume node is not traded through easily because there's a lot more interest and, I guess, walls of orders and activity around those price points. So you're more likely to get bounces, rejections, etc., reactions from these high volume nodes. So using the edge of a high volume node versus a low volume node is what I look for support and resistance. Do I use order flow or footprint charts for confluences? No, I do not. It's purely volume profile and price, DOM for execution, and I do have time and sales and bookmap open, but I don't use them. Just look at them. Just like to look at the market. Currently close to getting funded on Top Step. Should I aim to go live or build a cushion on the funded account, or should I just aim for small payouts? 150K. I don't know Top Step's rules these days. I'm pretty sure they cap your payouts at 5K per account, yeah? Honestly, like I said, Top Step's a really good beginner stepping stone, but I'd just be taking payouts, then moving on to other props. Get some payouts, get net green, milk the account as much as you can, and then I'd be moving on to better scaling opportunities, better payout opportunities. But that's not financial advice. But yeah, Top Step's one of those ones really beginner friendly. Rules are easy enough. But it is just a stepping stone. It didn't used to be. When they had uncapped payouts and less rules, it was better. But yeah. Nice, Joseph. Okay, Bonsai Care app. Water and fertilizer. Okay, thanks, man. I'm actually going to write that down because it's been a major hobby of mine at the moment. So let's go. Bonsai Care app. Thanks, man. There we are. I am going to grab that. Daddy Voltron. Giveaway soon, boys. Waiting for this trade to close. Either at 4 p.m. or once this trade hits trailing stop, we'll do the giveaway. I don't want to do the giveaway while I'm in this trade because I want to manage this. This is a funded account. We're making real money here. Trailing stops at 707.50, where I took the rest of the trade previously. And trying to get the rest of this trade to run. Let's go, let's go, let's go. There's the current trade right there. There's the DOM. And let's move this up because this is obviously up higher. Current running trade. Yes, Louis, taking out 1400. Yes, sir. At what point in the prop scaling journey should I switch to Apex with 20 accounts? Repunks, what I would suggest, not financial advice, is try one Apex account, a 50K account, see how you handle the rules and the consistency, and try and get one payout with Apex. If you can do that and you didn't mind it and you found yourself able to handle the rules and consistency, then go for it. Then send it. Not financial advice. But yeah, try with one. Low cost. You pick them up for like $30. Using code CAMCAP, of course. And yeah, man, low cost way to try it. See how you like it. Make sure you know the rules inside and out. And then once you do, then Apex with the 20 accounts is, in my opinion, the best scaling opportunity for prop traders. MOC is here. Let's go. Let's go. It's moving more wild now. Still holding this trade. Trailing at 707.50. So countdown spring water. Yes, Jamie. Yes, the countdown spring water with a squeeze of lemon. Yes, Ryan Bryan. I love the name, man. It's got a jingle to Ryan Bryan on the order flow bus. Yes, sir. All right, we are running. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We are running. Let's grab all these liquidities up here. Next one's at 720. Yes, don't forget the activation fee. Yes, activation for Apex is $130. Correct. Good point. $37 plus $130 activation. So $167 to get in there. All right, we got some more liquidity up here. 720. Let's go. Can we push it? Decent, man. I'm going to pull that stop up to 709. Stops at 709. And see if we can get more from this. Already bagged 1200. Locked in. So this final contract is just some gravy on top. Some sauce. How many contracts is the runner that's left? Just one contract. We went in with 6 contracts and took off 5 at my take profit target, which was down here at 707, and 1 contract running. Always like to take majority of my profits off at my take profit target, always. Because you never tell when these things happen. Jamie, I'm up 4 mil. Yes, sir. Plenty of countdown waters to be bought with that. Oh, camera's gone. The camera's gone. I'm still here. Let me get this thing back on. Minis, not micros. 6 minis. I don't trade micros. Gringo, I trade with set targets, and I will leave one runner, especially if in a high volume session like the New York session. Otherwise, yeah, I take my targets at 1-to-1 normally. Majority of the position, 1-to-1 take profit target, and then 1 contract, 1 to 2 contracts max for a runner. Uh, 4 minutes till the close. Once we hit 4 p.m., I'll close the trade and we will get to the giveaway. So anyone sticking around till market close, giveaways are in store. Do I always trade with the chart zoomed out? Yes. No, I don't know if you caught it earlier, but I don't refer to anything on the chart other than current price and the volume. So I don't look at the candlesticks, not looking at patterns in the structure, just looking at where is price now and relative to volume levels, where are we trading? How do I deal with drawdown? Do you scale down on contracts? No. J Val for drawdown. How do I deal with drawdown? I don't change anything. I just keep trading. I'll just, if I'm in a losing streak, I will just keep trading through it. Right? I don't change anything. Just keep trading through it. I've been doing this particular strategy long enough where I've got good stats. I know what to expect. If I'm going to have a couple losing days, I know that give it 2 to 3 days and I'll be back to rolling in some wins. So yeah, it all just comes down to knowing your stats. I think that's the key to most strategies. You know your stats, you can have more confidence in periods of drawdown and etc. All right, it's pulling back a bit to this value area low, leaving the running stop there at 6709, which is just above the last place I took profit on the last 5 contracts. Resting at this low here, 6709.50, just around that point. So let's see if it gets a bounce off the value low and continues up, would be nice. Otherwise, great trade anyways. Let's go. Yes, Pi only has a line chart. Exactly. It's all you need when you trade volume profile. You don't need any candles, just a line chart. You don't even need a chart, honestly. You just need a DOM. A DOM and the profile levels marked out. Yeah, curate, absolutely, man. Little quick recap. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but I'll recap it again. These streams are available to rewatch anytime, by the way, guys. So if you missed it, it'll be available on the channel under the live tab. But a quick recap on what this trade was. It was, at the time of the trade, this was a D-shaped profile. If we take it back here. So D-shaped profile, so even distribution at the time of the trade, which would look like this. All right, so even distribution across these lows, so expecting a range across this range. And we had down here previous week's value high, which is a potential support level. You can see that's just below where I got the entry. And then we had on the bid, on the order book here, we had over 200 contracts resting at 702, which is where I got my entry. So as soon as price filled those 702 orders, the orders at 702, the buy orders, as soon as price filled that and traded to the low of this D shape here and was just above the support level, I got in long, expecting a quick bounce. Took profit at 1-to-1, 5 points initially, 5 contracts off at 5 points, and then left a single contract because I went in with 6 contracts total to see if we could get a reversal here. And so far, so good. So far, so good. Closing this at, it's 4 p.m. All right, it's 4 p.m. I'm just going to close it there. It's 4 p.m. Time to close.
Order filled.
Order filled. Good stuff. Cool, man. That's a total of $1,800 on the Take Profit Trader funded account. Beautiful. All right, giveaway time, boys and girls. Like the stream for that trade, first of all. But let's do a quick giveaway. So what we're going to do for today's giveaway is I'm going to post a link in the chat once again, and I'll give you the details. And this will be a giveaway for both Apex and TPT. For Apex and TPT accounts. All right. So I have just made a post on my community tab on YouTube. I'm about to send the link in the chat here. All right. Click that link in the chat, and what I want you to do is, number one, like the post. All right, like the post. And then in that post, comment Apex or TPT, whatever account you prefer to win, Apex, TPT, Apex, TPT. All right, comment that, and then I will select a random winner. from that amount of comments. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that because I don't want to hang around too long now. Give you 2 minutes. The winner wins a free account, TPT or Apex. So link is in the chat. Click that. Quickly go comment. It's going to be a quick one today. Real quick. Not in the live chat, but in the post. All right. All right. Quickly comments. Come on. Come on. Meanwhile, while people are commenting, we're live Monday to Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So this will be happening again tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. Not in the chat. Come on, man. In the post. Okay. I'm about to select someone right now. Let me just select the random one here. Evan Foley 4827. Evan Foley 4827. Evan Foley, if you are on Instagram, please message me and send me a screenshot to prove that it's your account, because people try and pose as other YouTubers and try and win free accounts, which is pretty funny. Some bullshit. But go follow me on Instagram, Evan Foley. DM me, and I will send you the details to get the free account. So there you go. What's up, Tom? Just missed it. No worries, man. We'll be back tomorrow, 2:30. More giveaways tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. If you want to get funded with TPT or Apex, the discount code is CAMCAP, CAMCAP. 40% off TPT. You get 40% off, and also no activation fee. All right, so 40% off, no activation, code CAMCAP. Apex, you get 80% off, code CAMCAP, CAMCAP. If you like the way I traded today with the volume profile, you want to learn how I do this, the link in the description, camicapital.com. Click on that and you'll see a link to my course. It is a cheap course, right? Cheap as in not the value, but the price. It's not a high-ticket course, but it teaches you everything I know about volume profile and how I trade using the volume profile. So if that interests you, link in the description, camicapital.com. I will see you guys tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Take